Did you know that 70% of people fear public speaking more than death? That's a staggering statistic, and it shows just how daunting the idea of speaking in front of an audience can be. But here's the real kicker: when it comes to captivating your listeners, perfection isn't the key. Studies reveal that 93% of communication effectiveness comes from nonverbal elements like body language and tone. This means that how you connect with your audience matters far more than how perfectly you deliver your lines. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that if you want to become a great speaker, you should focus less on getting every word right and more on engaging your audience. Throughout this video, we'll explore strategies that will transform your public speaking skills. We'll dive into the power of empathy, the art of storytelling, and how to use body language and vocal variety to keep your audience hooked. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of audience engagement? Join us as we discover how to make your message resonate, leaving a lasting impact on everyone who hears it. Forget about striving for perfection, it's time to embrace the magic of connection. Chapter 1: The Power of Connection. Why empathy outshines perfection when it comes to public speaking. Most people think perfect delivery is the goal. But there's something far more valuable: connection. In fact, studies show that 82% of audiences prefer speakers who feel authentic over those who appear flawless. That's because audiences want to relate to you, not just admire your skill. Empathy is your biggest ally here. When you put yourself in your audience's shoes, they can sense it. You're no longer just a speaker, you become one of them. As Brené Brown, an expert on vulnerability, puts it, connection is why we're here. It gives purpose and meaning to our lives. When you connect, people pay attention. They care. So how do you build this connection? First, understand your audience's needs. What are their pain points? What do they care about? Once you know this, you can tailor your message. Speak to their concerns, and they'll listen to every word. Next, show vulnerability. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Harvard Business Review found that leaders who admit their flaws are seen as more relatable and trusted. In a TED Talk, for example, Brené Brown's personal anecdotes about failure resonated far more than a list of her accomplishments would have. Lastly, be genuine. Audiences can spot insincerity from a mile away. Be yourself. Share your experiences, even the messy ones. It's not about delivering a perfect speech, it's about being real with the people in front of you. Authenticity trumps perfection every time. Chapter 2: Interactive Speaking. Making your audience part of the show. A speech doesn't have to be a one-way street. In fact, it shouldn't be. One of the best ways to keep people engaged is by involving them directly. Audience interaction isn't just a gimmick, it's a powerful tool for engagement. According to a study by Harvard Business School, interactive presentations increase audience retention by up to 70%. When people participate, they feel more invested in what's happening. It's no longer just your speech, it becomes their experience, too. So, how do you do it? Start by asking questions. They don't have to be complicated. Something as simple as, "How many of you have experienced this?" can bring people into the conversation. Let them raise their hands or even shout out answers. You can also use technology. Live polls or real-time Q&A sessions through apps like Slido or Mentimeter can transform a passive audience into active participants. When they see their opinions reflected in the presentation, engagement skyrockets. Another strategy is storytelling with your audience. Ask for volunteers to share their experiences related to your topic. This not only adds variety to your speech but also gives the audience a sense of ownership over the content. People love hearing stories from their peers. Finally, acknowledge audience reactions in real time. If someone laughs, respond to it. If someone seems confused, clarify. Treat your presentation like a living, breathing conversation. When you engage with your audience as if they're part of the show, they won't tune out. Chapter 3: The Art of Story Weaving. Using real-life examples to captivate. We all love a good story. And when it comes to public speaking, stories aren't just a nice touch, they're a necessity. Research from Stanford University found that people are 22 times more likely to remember a fact if it's wrapped in a story. That's how powerful storytelling can be. But here's the thing, you don't need to save your story for the end or the beginning of your speech. Instead, weave stories throughout your talk. Sprinkle personal anecdotes or real-life examples into your points. This keeps the audience interested and connects your message to something tangible. When choosing your stories, make them relatable. You don't need some grand, life-changing moment. Small, everyday experiences can be just as effective. The key is making sure your audience can see themselves in the situation. When they relate, they engage. Also, keep your stories brief and to the point. Long, drawn-out tales lose their punch. The best stories are those that hit quickly and connect directly to your main message. If your story doesn't tie back to your point, it's just a distraction. Another tip: use vivid imagery. According to cognitive psychologist Jerome Bruner, people are more likely to remember information if it's presented in a visually stimulating way. So, describe the scene, the smells, the emotions. Bring your audience into the story as if they were there with you. Lastly, include a surprising twist. Audiences love the unexpected. Whether it's a humorous turn or an unforeseen outcome, a twist can keep your listeners on the edge of their seats. They'll be more likely to remember you and your message long after the speech is over. If you're finding this information helpful, be sure to subscribe. You won't want to miss our next chapters packed with even more tips on becoming a great speaker. Chapter 4: Body Language Magnetism. Speaking without words. When you're speaking, your words are only part of the equation. In fact, studies show that 55% of communication is non-verbal. This means your body language plays a huge role in how your message is received. If you can master body language, you'll have an extra tool to engage your audience, without even saying a word. First, let's talk about posture. Standing tall, with your shoulders back, not only makes you look confident but helps you feel more confident, too. Research by Amy Cuddy from Harvard Business School showed that adopting a power pose for just 2 minutes can actually change your body chemistry, increasing confidence and reducing stress. When you feel good, your audience feels it, too. Next is eye contact. Maintaining steady eye contact builds trust and rapport. But don't just stare at one person. Move your gaze around the room, connecting with different people for a few seconds at a time. This makes everyone feel included, and it helps you read the audience's reactions. Gestures also matter. Open, welcoming gestures, like spreading your arms wide, invite people in. On the other hand, closed-off body language, like crossing your arms, can make you seem unapproachable. Use your hands to emphasize key points. Studies from the University of Chicago found that speakers who use gestures are seen as more engaging and persuasive. Finally, be mindful of movement. Pacing back and forth can be distracting. Instead, move with purpose. Walk to a new spot on the stage when you're transitioning to a new point. This helps create a visual structure to your talk, keeping your audience engaged. Body language isn't just an accessory to your words, it's a powerful tool that can either enhance or undermine your message. Use it wisely, and you'll captivate without even trying. Chapter 5: Vocal Variety Mastery. The secret sauce to dynamic speaking. If you've ever sat through a monotone speaker, you know how quickly your mind can drift. The truth is, vocal variety is key to keeping people's attention. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Let's break it down. First, think about your pitch. Varying your pitch helps keep your speech lively. A higher pitch can express excitement or urgency, while a lower pitch can convey authority or seriousness. By shifting between pitches, you create interest and hold attention. Then, there's pace. If you're speaking too quickly, your audience might struggle to keep up. Too slowly, and they'll tune out. Mix it up. Speed up when you're building excitement and slow down when you want to emphasize a key point. University of Kansas research suggests that the strategic use of pace changes can improve comprehension and retention in listeners. Don't forget about pauses. Pausing at the right moment can be just as powerful as speaking. A well-timed pause gives your audience a moment to absorb what you've said. It also creates anticipation for what's coming next. Winston Churchill, one of history's great speakers, was known for his use of pauses. He once said, "The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause." Lastly, consider your volume. Raising your voice slightly during critical points shows importance and draws focus. Lowering your voice, on the other hand, can pull people in, making them lean forward to catch every word. Remember, vocal variety is the spice in your speech. It transforms flat delivery into something dynamic and memorable. It's not about being loud or dramatic, it's about using your voice like an instrument to create rhythm and keep your audience on their toes. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll continue sharing more tips and strategies to help you become a great speaker.